Hey, hello, and welcome to the show. It is me, John Park. We're here in my workshop. Thank you so much for joining me. We've got some people over in our chats. So YouTube, hello to Dave Odessa and Beata Graf Abdelhagen and Relic SE, howdy. If you are wondering where the chat is and you're somewhere that seems chatless, well, head on over to our Discord. It's at adafruit.it/Discord. You'll want to look for this live broadcast chat channel right here. We have a bunch of different channels, but that's the one where people are hanging out during the live stream. Hello to Starman and Johnny Bergdahl and John Nodge, Andy Calloway, Thin Man and Jim Hendrickson and Blitz City DIY. I saw C. Grover up here. Hello, thank you, and sorry if I missed anyone. Just a quick scroll through. But stop on by if you've got thoughts, if you've got questions, jokes, etc., observations about brass knuckles hanging in the back of my workshop, which those have been covered up for a little while. Were they in that case? I think they're in that case. Andy spotted some brass knuckles back there. Enough said about that. Let's talk about the show. What's going on today? I have a new coupon code for you to shop at a discount in the Adafruit shop. I've got a product pick of the week recap. There is a CircuitPython Parsec, a bit of an ESP tool Parsec today, actually. I have a bit of a Learn Guide update thing that I'm working on that I wanted to show you involving the Xbox accessibility controller. And I have a little update on my current project, the Memento and MagTag camera, e-paper camera. Just was able to commit that code last night up to our GitHub Learn Guide repo. And I also have of course, a new CRT to talk about, a new old CRT to talk about. It's the one over there. I don't know what am I doing? I can't stop. I probably should stop, but I won't. Okay, so first thing of all of that is a coupon code. If you want to save some money, who doesn't want to save some money? Go to the Adafruit shop, throw some stuff in your cart that looks interesting to you, useful to you, and on the way out, that coupon code right there, rack mount, that's going to save you 10% off in the shop. We don't do any rain checks, back orders, things like that. If it's something you see that is in stock, you can get it. You can throw it in your cart. You can get it at a discount with rack mount as your coupon code. That's good until midnight East Coast time tonight. And that's the store right there. It's just adafruit.com. That takes you right to the store. This coupon code is good on anything that we can send to you physically. It won't work on software or gift certificates or subscriptions, but it is it's quite useful for all of the actual stuff. Look at that, even this. I believe there are still no restrictions on Raspberry Pi or any other brands, so You want a Raspberry Pi AI hat plus 2? That's going to be $130 normally, but you can get $13 off of that, 10% off. So there's also a AI hat kit up here. I actually don't know what the difference is with this new hat plus 2, but it seems bigger. Probably better. I haven't looked into it yet. But that's just one of the many thousands and thousands of things that we stock in the Adafruit shop that may be of interest to you. If you want to see some of them, go to products. We've got all these categories here. Maybe you want a kit. Go to kits and projects. There, how about a budget pack for Metro, the 328 with assembled Metro at Mega 328p, going old school. Yeah, you can save on that. You can also head to products, new product section, view all, and you'll see not a lot of new stuff coming out right now, just as Lady Ada is coming out of the baby making and holiday season, but soon I'm sure there will be new stuff. But we have some things like this Woody Pi hat, a couple of refreshes on some things, this Raspberry Pi 5 that came in, and again, I believe RAM prices are here to stay high, so all of these Raspberry Pis, I think the prices have gone up. This one we just released. I don't think there was a 1 gig version, but that's going to be the cheapest Pi 5 you can get now, $49.50. Long gone are the days of the $35 credit card-sized computer. But nevertheless, I offer you this coupon code, rack mount, to save some money. And let me move that back over there like so. Yes, Sam J. Ohio confirms over in the chat that does work on Raspberry Pi stuff. Just checked in the cart. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. Let me move that over there. So next up, I've got my show on Tuesdays. Let me move this thing out of the way, which is the product pick of the week. This week was this super cool, where'd I hide mine? I put them over here. Super cool little breakout board. It is that right there. It looks amazing. What does it do? Here's a recap of what it does. The Dragon Tail for microbit and Clue. And I love it because it looks like a video game cartridge connector. Once you pop in your microbit or your Clue into there, very Game Boy. There are these 0.1 inch spaced male header pins to plug into your breadboard, and these two little extras over here you can connect up to the power rail on your breadboard, which is great. And you can see here I've got wires running off to a couple of switches, resistors and LEDs going to ground, and a couple of pins on the microbit, or rather on the Clue. And then I have some potentiometers. When I press this, as well as I'm turning on a LED, and I can turn off that red circle in the middle. And then I can turn these potentiometers here to adjust the size of these circles. I was just using vector IO. Boom. That right there is product pick of the week. It is the Dragon Tail for microbit and Clue. Due to technical difficulties, I forgot the heads and tails on that video, so there was no fun little song. All right, so that was product pick of the week. Dragon Tail. Next up, let's this one may end up, roll up my sleeves. This one may end up being a not insignificant amount of time spent on a CircuitPython Parsec. It's a process, but I think it's an important one. So here we go. Buckle up. CircuitPython Parsec. Okay, I've got a bunch of windows to set up so that I can see them. I think you can see them, but where have they gone for me? Let me move some things into position here. Will that work? Yeah. That should, oh, close. Okay. Here we go. Let's do this. Oh, come back. There we are. I think I'm going to keep moving. For the CircuitPython Parsec today, I want to show you the process of using ESP to erase the flash on your ESP32 based board, such as this Memento camera here I'm going to use today. as well as to update the bootloader. And this is something that you need to do if you have a board that hasn't been updated in a while and your version of CircuitPython you want to put on the board just refuses or goes on there and throws some errors. So it is pretty important to get up to speed on the bootloader version before putting CircuitPython on to some of these boards. What you see here is on this webpage, this is the Learn Guide for Memento. This is a section here that's actually a templated section that you'll see in pretty much all of the board guides for ESP32 based boards, and in this case it's down in the bottom on the navigation on the left. You won't see this right now because I had to crop it. There's a section called Factory Reset, and that's where this happens to live on a bunch of these. So install the Factory Reset firmware. This one presumes that you've got a recent enough firmware on it, or bootloader rather, that you can go into bootloader mode and see a drive appear on your desktop. If that's the case, don't worry about what I'm about to show you. Or, in many cases, you can go through the web-based installer. Try that first as well. However, the other day when I was getting some of these Memento projects up and running, I was having no luck with any of these. So I went to the, keep scrolling down, to the esptool.py method for UF2 bootloader installation. So that's what we're going to talk about here. So this step, first thing we'll do is download the UF2 bootloader bin file, which I've already got downloaded, but I'll hit that again. So that just dropped the bin file down into my downloads folder. Then it says enter ROM bootloader mode. So here I'm going to take this, let's turn this off. This is the Memento, unplug it, plug it in, turn it on. At this point, if it had something running on it, Arduino, CircuitPython, it may just kick into that. This one is a brand new one from back when I did the AdaBox on these, so it's got an Arduino demo on there. So what I need to do though is to put it into bootloader, ROM bootloader mode. So what I'll do is hold the boot button and then press and release the reset button and then release the boot button. You'll notice no drive shows up. In my little Finder window there, you'll see I've got a few drives on there, a SD card and a couple of drives in the network. Nothing showed up there, so that can be disconcerting if you're used to going into bootloader mode and seeing something pop up. However, and this is the case where, well, that doesn't happen. What do we do? So we've gone into the mode, and then we're going to use, I'm going to keep scrolling down because we're not doing the web version. We're going to actually use the command line terminal version of this. So here we are, step 3, alternative B, the esptool method. So I won't go through this first step, which is installing esptool, but this shows you how you do that with, in my case, I used pip3. Installed it, I updated it, and then it says test the installation. So if you look in my terminal window here, if I clear this, I'm going to do esptool. And actually that just recently changed where you don't have to say .py at the end of it, but you'll see me follow these instructions until I update this web page. So here, this just shows you, okay, esptool is there, and it gives you a whole bunch of nicely formatted help instructions. So it's there, that's good. Next thing we want to do is find the serial port. So this is how I usually do this. On the Mac here, I'm going to follow this instruction, which is to list everything in dev tty. And you'll see, okay, I've got TTY URT1, some headphones, some Bluetooth incoming port, BLTH, USB modem 146.144.01. That's probably it. However, I really like to be sure. So what I'll do is unplug this, rerun this. Hey, look, it disappeared. Okay, good. Now I'm going to go through the process again. I've turned it on. I'll go into bootloader mode, and I will check. Yes, okay, I feel pretty confident that that's the drive. This is important to do because sometimes you may have multiple devices plugged in. You don't want to flash the wrong one. And there are a couple of fail-safes along the way. Next thing we'll do is connect to it. So I'll say, following this instruction, esptool port, and then I'll give it that port name. So dev tty USB modem 146.144.01. You should probably copy and paste that, but I'll live on the edge. And then I'm going to ask for the chip ID. This is actually changed recently to have a hyphen instead of an underscore. So I will update the guide. Okay, so this right here says ESP tool is connected to the ESP on that port. Tells me the chip type, features of the chip, the frequency of the crystal, USB mode that we're in, and the MAC address. Okay, these are good signs. That means that ESP tool is able to talk to this chip. Next thing we'll do is erase the flash. So this is going to get rid of whatever is on there in flash. So ESP tool port, I'll copy paste it this time. Copy, paste, and then erase flash. So stub flasher running, it says down at the bottom there, and it is erasing the flash memory. May take a while, usually takes about 20 seconds or so. Okay, it is finished erasing it. It took 16.4 seconds. Hard resetting via RTS pin. So it's reset itself. And now the next thing to do is to write the bootloader bin to it. So let's keep scrolling down. Did I miss it? I might have missed it. Okay, hold on. I went right past it. Flash the UF2 bootloader. Okay, it's right here. Oh, my mouse is being fast. Okay, so this is the final step here. I'm going to say ESP tool port. I can paste that. It's still in my copy buffer. And then write flash 0x0 is the address it's going to. And then I'm going to tell it where the bin file is that I just downloaded. So this will be some long path here, downloads, and then tiny UF2 Adafruit camera ESP32S3 0.33.0. That's the number of this bootloader that I'm putting on. Combined OTA.bin. Here we go. I'll hit enter, and now it starts writing this. And these steps are kind of what the web-based tools are doing under the hood. They just give you a nice interface for them. However, sometimes if your browser doesn't want to really connect to the USB serial and do all that, then you will find yourself out of luck using browser-based tools. So this is the last resort. However, once you get comfortable with this, if you're doing a few boards in a row in particular that are of the same kind, then you can just kind of use your terminal history to run through it pretty quickly. Okay, so that just said it has reset the board. Now what I'll do is, if you watch my Finder window, I'm going to go back into bootloader mode, and this time we should get a drive to show up that we can then put CircuitPython on. Actually, let me reset the board once first. And if I flip this over, this is a welcome sign here. Let me adjust the exposure on this screen. It's very bright. Now I'm seeing, hey, the actual bootloader is running in the mode that I want. I have a flashable UF2 bootloader. You can see it in my Finder here, camera boot. So now I can go and drag and drop CircuitPython onto there. So let's do that. We'll finish this with that last step. So I'll go to CircuitPython and download Memento UF2. So this is 10.0.3. And then I'm just going to drag that onto camera boot in my Finder. And now you won't see this, but I've got the little estimated time remaining, ... as it copies over. So it just finished. You'll see the drive ejected, and now it comes up as camera boot again. I should be able to reset and get this into CircuitPython. Oh, wait, no, it's still saying camera boot. Why is that? Uh-oh. What step am I forgetting? I just did this the other day. Let's see. Reset U. Camera boot. Is that the right? Yeah, that was the right UF2. Yeah. Let me just try that again. In the chat, Todd said, for ESP tool, I found that some boards don't do the reset via RTS pin reliably, so I will put the board back into ROM bootloader mode, boot reset for every ESP tool command. Hey, why are you staying? What have I done? This is the whole point of this thing. What have I done wrong here? Anyone in the chat sees a flaw in what I'm doing, let me know. I'm gonna, oh, you know what? I'm gonna power cycle it too. We do have an on-off switch on here, but I'm gonna really be sure. Power cycle, unplug. Okay, it's in camera boot. Oh, is it because I have to? No, it's not that. All right, I'll try it one last time here, and if not, I'll give up for now. Nope, I'm just stuck in camera boot cycle. What have I done wrong? Curses. I didn't want to do this cooking show style. I really wanted to do it to a board that was fresh and needed it. So that's this is the real demo for you. Yeah, reset after loading the firmware, but I just don't think it's. I don't think it's believing this. All right, let me see if this works now. So I'm going to go, since I now can connect to this, I'm going to use the web tool. PyCamera shows up. Yeah, sorry, that's what I was doing, is dragging a UF2, but you just can't see that with the way I have my screen capture going. Yeah, it dragged the UF2 on, but then it just goes back to camera boot. And if I check camera boot, it's got a current UF2. What does it think it is? It's just the bootloader is all it thinks that is, yeah. All right, so I'm going to see, will it connect with web serial? No, it doesn't want to. Yeah, I won't try that. What I will do, though, sorry, I hope this isn't dragging on too long for people. What I will do is actually go and erase it again. So I put it into bootloader mode, and I'm going to reset between each step, as Todd was mentioning. So let's go just double check that it still has that address. It does, okay. I'm going to do a reset. Bootloader mode, and now I will do the erase. Answering questions over in the chat. Yes, Todd, I was dragging a UF2 over. It's just you can't see that the way I'm doing my screen capture. It captures just that one Finder window and not the whole Finder, so you won't see my mouse come over and drag a thing onto there. Okay, so we're erased. I'm going to reset again. Back to bootloader, and right, and that looks right. It looks like the right UF2. Oh, no, it's not. Yeah, it is. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, 033, that's the bootloader. All right, finishing writing. Hard reset. I will also reset. Okay, we're in the bootloader mode here. We see in the Finder camera boot. I will just re-download my. Well, in fact, let's grab the beta since I used that yesterday and I know that works. So I'm going to grab CircuitPython beta. You won't see me dragging this UF2, but that's what I'm doing. You won't see it saying it's writing, but that's what it's doing. We cross fingers. No, it's stuck as at camera boot. Okay, I don't know what this is, but maybe this will make for a good Parsec next week if I figure out what's going on with this one. Very weird. But this one is thoroughly stuck in bootloader mode. Don't know why. All right. So that is how you can partly get your Memento up and running using the ESP tool to put the bootloader on. Stay tuned for a follow-up where I actually get CircuitPython running on it. And that's your CircuitPython Parsec. CircuitPython All right. I probably shouldn't spend any more time on this, but I will take any last suggestions from the chats if anyone has them. Otherwise, we'll move on. Yeah, super weird. It just wants to be what it is. All right, I will try, you know what? This isn't part of the Parsec, but I will try the web installer right here. Let's see. Full CircuitPython 10.0.3 install. Sure. Next. Okay, we go into bootloader mode, which we're in. Connect. Okay, it showed me Pi camera, USB modem, and an address, which it says it's paired to. Connecting. Yeah, this is the part that's stalling on this web one. This was the longest Parsec ever. So for whatever reason it's stalling here. I mean, that's kind of the situation where I do go over to ESP tool, but I don't know what's up with this board that it does not want to put, does not want to accept the UF2. Adafruit underscore camera equals Pi camera equals Memento. Yeah, and in Disco Tool it's cam or camera. Oops. Yeah, it will not. All right, let's go to previous. Close this. Don't know what's up with this board. All right. Let's just do one other thing, which is over here on the Learn Guide, the ESP tool link here. Where'd it go? Not that one. Isn't there another installer? Yeah, this one, Web Serial ESP tool. Let's just try this one for fun. Connect. I'm connecting to that same address. Let's see if it says anything here. I think this is just running, yeah, this is just running ESP tool via JavaScript. Need to put into ROM bootloader mode, am I not? Okay. There are multiple bootloaders, aren't there? Okay. Is that what it is? There are two bootloaders. Andy Kelly says, if you just joined us, we're watching John Park's Parsec. And some nice says, pulling the USB between steps can be helpful. Yeah, I don't have a battery plugged into this one, which is helpful also. And although this has the on-off switch, because I have run into cases where I've thought I've power cycled, but the battery means I haven't. Let's try that again. Connect. JTAG serial debug. Yeah, I think that's what I needed. Okay. Let's choose the file. Downloads. I'm grabbing that combined bin. No. I need a, let me grab a I need a bin version of CircuitPython. So Memento, download the bin. Over here, choose file. Yeah, maybe I should have been using ESP tool command line to also write the CircuitPython file. For some reason, the drag drop UF2 didn't want to work. Okay, it just wrote that bin. Run the new firmware, reset your device. Let's see what happens. No, this is the this is the Memento that only wants to be a bootloader and never accept CircuitPython. I'll try one last drag. We live here now. This is the rest of our lives. All right. No, it never wants to. Oh, wait. Yeah! It went on that time. I'm so sorry. I don't know what the difference was there. Maybe I was in the different bootloader. Well, now we got CircuitPython on here. Yay! That was an ordeal. So let me go back to there. All right, well, I will retrace my steps and try to make sure that I have a cleaner way to explain this, and maybe we'll try this again. I must have been in the wrong bootloader, very weird, but now, as you can see down here in the Finder, it's got CircuitPython. If we go into there, all the things you expect to see. Boot out text says I have 10.1.0 beta 0.1 running on there. Hooray! Whew. All right. I think everyone needs to recover a little bit after that. Lawrence.lswse.science asked over on the YouTube chat, what are you doing? I was putting the bootloader onto an ESP32 based board here. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way. So that I could put CircuitPython on it, and it went all sideways. But we do now have CircuitPython on there, which is actually a nice segue into the continuation of the e-ink camera project, or e-paper camera project. So let me turn these on. I think I have these both set up to connect to the Wi-Fi in here. So what you'll see is the camera here, it's connecting to my Wi-Fi, and then it's going just kind of into camera mode. I have it turning on the LEDs. And then the mag tag here, and I'm going to open up, let me go back to this view and just change some things around a little bit. If we look at, boost the exposure on that. Mag tag here should just jump on my Wi-Fi and look for the latest image that I've uploaded to Adafruit.io with the camera, which I'll try to bring that up real quick. io.adafruit.com. Oh God, it's a picture of Lars. Okay. So if I look in my feeds, I have one called ePaper Cam. Okay, so there's the image that I took with the camera, and this was yesterday at some point, 3/24 yesterday. So I'm gonna, let's move some of these windows and make them a little bigger for you. Okay. So what I'll do is take a new photo with this. So let's pick a non-Lars subject. All right, I got my coffee mug here. All right, so coffee mug. Ba-doop. Takes a picture. Makes a little dithered Game Boy style one. I got a bunch of light reflection off the mug there, so it's not going to be the best picture in the world. what this is doing right now is taking that image, turning it into base 64 encoded string, sending that up to Adafruit I/O. In a moment, we should see Adafruit I/O, and I may have to refresh it, but often you'll just see Adafruit I/O. This feed will update with that image. Hasn't yet. All right, let it cook. And then after it goes up to Adafruit I/O, the next time the mag tag wakes up and queries the feed to see is there a newer image than what I currently have, and then it'll download that and display it. So this is the basic functionality I had last week. What I've done is just tuned some things, made it work a little faster, a little better, and I've set the mag tag to go into a deep sleep for a user-defined period. So I think in testing right now I might have it set to 30 seconds or something. But what you would probably do if you want to run this battery powered, and I've got the little magnetic feed on here, stick this on your fridge or some other magnetic happy metal surface and let it wake up every hour or every 15 minutes or something like that. And then you can get a month of battery life or something like that, because the e-ink display shows even when the power is off. And if you're just using this to do kind of little fun artistic things, you don't need to have a very quick refresh on that. So let me see. I'm going to take a new picture. I don't know what happened with this. Is this thing still happy? Well, let's refresh the feed. Yeah, I don't know what happened with that. I'm going to plug this in so that we can just look at the REPL to make sure it's doing everything we think it should be doing. So let's open up a move this out of the way. Can we do this here? Sure. Move that over, come over here, make this a bit skinnier. So let's see, Disco Tool, Camera. That's funny, why is something named Pi Camera showing up? That shouldn't be, that's very mysterious. What all do I have plugged in? Maybe that's part of my woes here. But let's do Disco Tool, name, cam. And put these both into view here. I'm going to reboot this one. Good. Okay, so that is the right one. Let me check my focus. Go. Okay, so it says over in my over in the REPL here, it says e-paper camera ready. Okay, so I'm just going to take so you can see it all happen. I'm just going to take a picture of the side of this memento, or mag tag rather. Okay, so it takes a picture. And you can see I have a bunch of little diagnostics here that I was using to clean up holding on to memory space. So it clears out memory after every step as it takes the photo. Oh, you can see it just showed up there on Adafruit I/O that time, so I don't know what's going on before. Loads the bitmap at 240, dithers the bitmap, clears that memory, creates a GIF file from that, encodes it to base 64, sends that as a GIF up to Adafruit I/O, and then clears the memory out. And that's all the tasks that the camera took. Now this one you can see it's lit up the LEDs white, which is what it does while it's downloading. So we just lucked out on the timing of this. I think maybe I just have it set to every 30 seconds. And there you go. It just downloaded the image. Since we have a square sensor on the camera and we have this very wide rectangular display on the mag tag, I'm simply taking a little slice crop there. On the mag tag, I actually scale that up with bitmap tools so that it is the full width. Oh, you can't see my screen code. Oh, that's weird. That never showed up. Thank you for the note. Yeah, so that is all that happened there was just those little diagnostics of the screen, rather of the camera as it took a picture. So you can see there it captured the JPEG, writes a temp file to the SD card, clears the JPEG from memory. It's just because after every 2 or 3 photos I was crashing, and so this is my solution, is just to make sure we're cleaning out the memory frequently. We did through that bitmap, then we clear the memory, we throw that preview up, the GIF shows up for a little bit on the camera, create the GIF file, encode that to base 64, clear that GIF from memory, and then create the new network session and upload that. So there's the final result of that. Let's take a new image, just see what else have we got around here. Oh, here's one. All right, so I'll take a little photo. Okay, so there you can see the photo of a baby doll mask. It's not scary. So that's the GIF preview, and after it sends that up to Adafruit I/O, then we excuse me, go back to live preview on the camera. And I also have a beep when it completes that. Okay, now it's sending to Adafruit I/O. Made it up to Adafruit I/O. And now we're just kind of at the mercy of the timing that I set on this. I've put this code up on GitHub. There's just 2 separate Pi files for the 2 different devices. And it might be cool, however, to add like a forced refresh with a button if we can. I think we would need an interrupt to be able to wake from deep sleep to check a button. So I tried to leave it simple and just said go into deep sleep and then wake up after a certain amount of time. Some Nice mentioned over in the chat, composition marks would be helpful in the viewfinder. I tried adding that and I was running into issues because the Pi camera module kind of takes over to do the live view. And when I attempted to then draw black bars over it to give myself some composition marks, as you said, the viewfinder slowed down to a crawl. It was just really, really stuttery. But maybe someone can take a look at that if they're interested. You could also do it physically if you're using this just for that purpose. Just like how your old cameras had, paint inside the viewfinder, put some masking, use some black plastic or some black paper or some electrician's tape to just mask that to the usable area. Might be my solution for that. Or maybe a little 3D printed housing that's just for this. All right, I'll keep stalling a bit as we wait for that to wake up. I really wonder what I set it to. You know what? I'm going to plug it in just so we can see what I set it to, and that will also probably reboot it and force it to go check, because that's the first thing it does when it wakes up. All right, so let's let me go open Z up. And let me fix Z. Where'd you go, Z? There you are. And I'll move that. Okay, let's open up. So this is the code.py on the mag tag. And I have it set to 5 minutes. Okay, we just got lucky before. Oh, look, it just happened though. Either just restarted or the 5 minutes finally ended. Okay, I won't touch anything. Go to full down cam. View, those little lights there are the sign that it is downloading. C. Grover suggests Kapton tape, another good way to do viewfinder comp marks. Thank you. Good idea. All right, and there it is. It has downloaded. There's the original. I'll tell you, I love this dithered black and white because it always forces full contrast range. So things just look, I think they look really light, really nice. The LEDs that I have on there, you can press the top button on the Memento and increase the brightness. I flashed to magenta for some reason, or off. So with that set to some appropriate level, you'll always get a nice clear image. And things tend to look like they're in focus even if they aren't, because again, this dithering helps fix a lot of sins. So there you go. Todd says, e-ink plus internet on microcontrollers is such an exercise in patience. You aren't kidding. Iterating on this project, every step takes like 40 seconds. So it took me a while to get the code to the state that it's in, but I'm pretty happy with where it is now. So if you want to dig into that, I'll show you where that's at. We can go to, by the way, if you want to follow this feed, which is the one I'm testing on, it's just John Park Feeds ePaper Cam. You can see the link right there. I promise not to rickroll you or to do anything shocking, mostly. The Learn Guide repo, if you go to GitHub, Adafruit, github.com/Adafruit. Look for the Adafruit Learning System guides. Those are often on the front page because they're pretty active. And then here, this is called ePaper. Scroll way down or search for ePaper camera. And in there, we just have the two MagTag code and Memento code. So you just change the names of those. So I'm working on the guide for this. If you want to play along, you'll want a Memento and a MagTag. You could, of course, modify this, but these play pretty well together. Andy Cowley says, if you crop the image to the ePaper resolution, you'll get a cleaner image. So what I've done on here, maybe if you have suggestions, so what I've done is I'm shooting at 240 by 240 on here. I upload that at that resolution as a GIF. On the Memento, it's 293 by 140 or something like that. So I scale it uniformly to that size, and then I think I'm cropping. So maybe I can take the photos at a bigger size, but I think the next these are sort of fixed resolutions. The next size up on this was actually too big to upload to Adafruit IO. So there's a limitation of like 100K for the size of that file, that data point. But yeah, if Brent or anyone else has some suggestions on that, let me know. That is what I'm doing right now. You can see in the code. All right, I'll turn this off and leave that be. But yeah, with a little bit of, if you find out, if you have friends, family, loved ones, you want to give one of these, you just got to get their Wi-Fi info and either have them sign up for Adafruit IO or put your own IO credentials on there, and then they can stick it on their fridge and you can send them fun, weird images. Okay, next up, let me look at my notes. What else do I have? Okay, let's do this real fast update on new CRT. Yeah. So this here is a Sony PVM 14M4U, which is one of their high-resolution Trinitrons. It's 800 TV lines. It's beautiful, beautiful resolution on it. I just have it hooked up over component, so YPPBPR. this can do RGB with sync, so the next sort of level up. It can also do S-video and composite. I just have a Blu-ray player hooked up right now. Let me hit play. Hooked up over a composite of a Batman Blu-ray. Ideally, this would be regular DVDs of the Batman animated series, because then they'll be full frame 4:3. These are cropped in, but cool features on this: you can underscan and overscan on it. You can go to a 16:9 squish if you need it. Go to blue only. Look at the horizontal and vertical sync, and then there's some dials on there. Reason I'm excited about this: it's got rack mount, full rack mount on it. So this little cage that it's in here, the TV is there, monitor is there. This is this little 19-inch rack mount ears kind of thing. I want to put together a rack that'll have that, and I have a what is it? 8 in, 8 out. Yeah, 8 in, 8 out Extron cross-point matrix, similar to what I'm using for my HDMI displays there, which means I can put together a little rack that has like 8 consoles in it and just hit a button and have them sent to this. And I think the 14-inch is a nice size. I've had some of the 9-inch ones, and I have a bigger one, and these little teeny ones back here, but this is a gorgeous display. I'll play some of that. I'm not playing sound on it right now. So this is a Batman Joker Christmas episode that you see right here with, sorry about the reflections in here. It's not the best. There you can see. Anyway, it's I'll probably use it for games more than I will for watching Batman, but boy, it's a beautiful looking screen. These models don't actually have their hours used. Some of the BVMs do, the PVMs don't, but the colors on it and the brightness looks great in all 3 guns, so I think it's a really low use display. Todd says, they make Blu-ray players that aren't PS5s or Xboxes? Yeah, this is the last Blu-ray player I have that isn't actually a game console. All right, so that's the cool fun find there. Sometime in this next year, I'll probably build out a little rack system over there so that I can sort of keep that all neat and tidy and have a bunch of consoles plugged into it. All right, let's see. Next up, what's happening here? Let me switch over to this view. Ooh. E-ink. Okay, let's just take a couple minutes to talk about this Xbox Adaptive Controller update. So a gamer contacted me and said that they were using this, which is the Xbox Adaptive Controller. And I have mine right here. So I put together a guide that shows how to build your own sort of connections to use different DIY button solutions. So it's an Xbox controller with tip ring connectors, 3.5 millimeter, for every possible button that you can have on a Xbox controller. Used for assistive technology for anyone who can't use a regular sized controller. So this has some big fun buttons on the top, but more typically people plug in the solutions that they need. In the guide, I have a section talking about using 2-potentiometer joystick with a TRRS, so four pole connector in the joystick, so left thumbstick there. If you plug that in, this will read it as an analog joystick. So you can set up the left and right sticks, as well as I think the squeeze triggers are analog. This wasn't working for this user for some reason, so they went with the Trinky solution. This is our TRRS Trinky, so same sort of thing. It's reading analog joystick, 2 potentiometers, and then acting like a USB joystick, and this accepts that. So you can plug in USB joysticks. So you can go buy any USB joystick, plug it into there, but this is a way to keep it DIY. And now whatever solution you have is going to be recognized by this and then passed along to the game as if it's the left thumbstick. However, they were getting some lag from it and trying to play a racing game, which caused, it was just a little bit of lag, but enough to cause crazy overcorrection when driving. So I wanted to look and see if there was anything obvious in the code that was causing that. And if you look at the TRS Trinky, let's see, is it in the main guide? I think so. If you look at the TRS Trinky guide, there's an adaptive joysticks page in the guide that Liz and Bill Binko put together. I guess I added photos to this. And the code here, if you look at the very bottom, this is polling at 0.05. This little pause here, 0.05, which may be correct for some uses, but I, on a hunch, dropped this down to 0.2 and 0.1, and I see a lot less lag with it. So it may be, oh, you're not seeing my, I'm so sorry. You're not seeing my screen at all. No guide on our screen. Thank you, Starman, for pointing that out. So yeah, this is the TRS Trinky guide. You can see the adaptive joystick, or rather the adaptive controller there with a TRS Trinky plugged in and one of our little thumbsticks. But this will show you how to set this up. And if you scroll down in here in the code that was adapted from Bill Binko's code, I guess I adapted this code. Maybe I did it, maybe Bill did it, who knows why, but for some reason this time sleep of 0.05, which is meant to not overwhelm the controller, seems to me like it's causing the lag. I won't, since I ran long on the Parsec, I won't do the setup. I have a laptop here that I can plug it into and show one of the controller tester web pages, and I can see it right there. If I move the joystick and let go, it returns, and there's just a little bit of lag there in that movement that I think is probably what would cause issues in a racing game in particular. So I sent that info to that gamer. They're going to get back to me and see if that solves it. Hopefully it will. And maybe that number needs to be tuned. Maybe 0.01 is too fast and it will cause issues. But even going to 0.25, I could tell it was just a lot more responsive than this 0.05. So there you have it. That's the update on that. Hopefully it'll be that easy. And I'm still not sure. I think the user may have had a hardware issue as far as the analog port, and that's why they're using a couple of those. But those should be fast enough, and we'll find out. Okay. Let's see. Was that all I had? I think that is it. I never went over to the Workbench today because the Workbench just has a TV and Batman DVD on top of it. So, excuse me, I'll leave that alone. All right. I think that's going to do it. Thank you. I just noticed in the chat, relic.se Cooper says, ESP32s scare me sometimes. Yeah, they are powerful and finicky, is my feeling. All right. That going to do it? Yeah. That's done it. Thank you everyone so much for stopping by. Thanks to these people in the chat, especially for trying to keep me honest when I forget to show you a piece of code I'm looking at or a web page that seems to be up for me. So thank you. And that should do it for me. I think we've got Scott tomorrow with a deep dive. Correct me if I'm wrong. If anyone knows, come check at 2 o'clock, I believe, tomorrow, West Coast time, 5 o'clock East Coast time to see, I believe Scott's doing a deep dive. If not, Foamy Guy may be covering. We'll be back on Tuesday with a product pick of the week. We will have 3D Hangouts on Wednesday, a show and tell, and still TBD about PT and Lemoore with an Ask an Engineer and some of the new format changes they're working on for that. So thank you everyone so much for stopping by for Adafruit Industries. This has been John Park's very extended CircuitPython Parsec and Workshop edition. Bye-bye.
Thank you.